read a thing about why you don't want a woman to be your fireman recently, and they're just coming
There's a
to like
YouTube
a standard.
video of it.
Oh yeah,
I bet that was a long, complicated read. Why you don't want a woman as your fireman? Well, first of all, my fireman probably should have a cock because he's a fireman. But look, if you're coming into a building to rescue me, literally me, then that means that I'm injured. There's a reason I'm not outside the building. All right, I've gotten out already. Like I'm not in here just hanging out because I like it hot. Like I'm hurt. I'm trapped. You have to free me. You have to help me overcome something that I already can't. And look, I've had little girlfriends. I dated a Filipina chick who was like 5'1" or something, and she was in the army and she was strong. She could put me on her back and piggyback me around. It was crazy.
If you were cooperating.
I was gonna say that too, but I don't think I don't know her. But dead weight.
She's not
Kyle?
dragging me. No.
Yeah.
She's not gonna pick me up, hoist me on her back, and get me anywhere to safety in a fire.
That's the point. Is like. If I
Ronda Rousey
Kyle,
might.
Like, assuming, Kyle, you're unconscious in a building, the smoke knocked you out, you're going to die if nobody gets to you.
There are women who can do it.
In your unconscious mind, the choice between the best female 5'3" firefighter on the planet, not this country, on the planet outside of that door that needs to knock down the door, get in and save you. Or you have me. After like 4 beers and a big, like, a crab boil dinner.
Best on the planet, I might take the girl because I believe there are women in existence that can do this job well.
I chose like 5'3" for a reason because there's not a 5'3" woman on the planet who can lift Kyle while she's wearing her own kit of 40 pounds of whatever to keep the smoke out and lift you up and heave you out of there. Whereas with my 4 beer self, I could walk in, grab Kyle by the wrist, maybe grab a few things, pilfer from his home for a minute, and then head on out. Like
grab Kyle and be like, I know he likes the Nighthawk. I'll get that one too.
Or I'd walk in there and Kyle would be like,
go. You're like, God damn it, you're stuffing him in your pants.
Save my Asus monitor, come back for me. It's new.
Anyway, we've got a special needs kid, my son. He went to the women's bathroom just because we didn't trust him to handle adults older than most. Like when Colin was 10 or 11 or something, my wife would still be like, you go in that stall, I'll be sitting here outside, and then she'd go. And, all the other people, like they're typically moms, or even like a 17-year-old girl is usually like understands a mom frame of mind, like this 10-year-old boy
especially
is
in North Carolina.
Yeah, that's funny.
I got a few miles,
but like, yeah.
You can use that victimhood as power. You can get people fired. You can get curriculums changed. You can have the bar for being a Marine lowered. You can have any number of qualifying standards for any number of occupations can be changed based on nothing more than, I don't like that. It's not fair. Just go, I'm a 5'1" woman, but my dream of being a firefighter is shattered because this 6'8" man thinks he can do it better than me. Like, you have to bend over backwards for everyone, and no one... I feel like society needs to start saying no again. Where when they come out and they're like, hey, I'm transgender, and I don't have a dick anymore, and, I was a man, now I'm a woman, but I'd really like to beat the shit out of biological women in a ring and be paid for it. Society should say, no! No, you can't do that, because that's cheating. Your big man hands are not going in that ring with that woman. That's not fair.
Taylor,
but no, you can't. Everybody has to dance around.
Everything you're saying is so well stated today, Taylor. And the examples you're making are so irrefutable. If I was there, I'd kiss you on the forehead. No, because no homo. But, but I'm just saying.
I have a pretty high T level.
Eventually, it'll become not that big a deal, I think. Like, everybody's going to be sexting and doing degenerate shit to the point that...
No one's watching my porns anymore.
No. No one ever started watching mine. I just get insults like, you're fat. I can't see her tits past your head. Stuff like that.
Kim Rago's all wrong with this guy. Always.
Yeah. What is it? Just balls and male ass. Who likes this? Who likes this?
I just want you guys to think this through before you fire a handgun in space.
I don't think I'll ever have to, jump over that hurdle.
Okay,
My life's not heading in
don't
that
take
direction.
that. Yeah, that's something you don't need to have on your bucket list.
I know
No.
the cosmonauts, the Russians, they had this really interesting firearm that could do a couple different things. I think it was a shotgun as well as like a rifle, but it wasn't for space combat. It was because every now and then when they returned, they landed in fucking Siberia and they needed something to fight the wolves and the bears with.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Yeah, that's we had lovely like just the Atlantic over there next to Florida or whatever to land in, to splash down in the warm 80-degree
Actually,
water.
you probably need a gun in Florida as well now.
That's a good point.
There's a couple
Yeah.
guys on
Shotgun
bath
Florida,
salts.
We're landing in Tallahassee. We got to make sure we're.
Dude, that would fucking suck. Being a Russian, like you're surging back down through the atmosphere, hoping you're not gonna die. And it slams into the tundra, and you're like, "All right, Nikolai, easy part over." And then you fight your way through fucking bears.
That's what happened to
Yetis.
the first manned spacewalk. It was these two cosmonauts. He goes out, and of course, and it's live on Russian television or Soviet television. Everybody's watching. Everybody's fucking, yes, we've won again. And then the guy realizes that because of the pressure differential, his suit has inflated, and he can now he can't get back into the capsule. So they cut the feed. They just cut the fucking feed, and they play like
What feet?
the feed.
The feed.
Oh,
The television
Now
like-
please
show.
enjoy video of bears playing hockey.
they actually played like Mozart's Last Repose or something like that. It's a really sad, like it's like the end of a sad movie music.
So
And,
Russian.
Did those
Yeah.
guys die?
Well, it's kind of a story. So
Yeah.
he's out there floating around, and the other guy's inside, like, and finally he realizes he's got a pressure valve. So he releases the pressure valve. Causes extreme pressure sickness though, because he releases a little bit too much pressure. Gets himself back in, and they go to close the hatch. And don't think of like a modern spacecraft, which are still we're not a Star Trek level. They're in like a capsule, right?
Like
And
a
so-
submarine in space.
So there's no like
Yeah.
airlock per se. They have to put their suits on, and then they just open a door right next to them, and then one of them can go out. The other one is in zero oxygen as well while he's watching his buddy float around out there. So buddy finally gets in. There's a close the door, and the door's it won't latch. It's a fucking Russian door.
Oh
So-
no.
It goes on for a while. Well, they're slamming the door, and because they're in zero gravity, that's creating force. It's pushing the craft every time he jerks the door and impacts the craft with its own door. They do get the door shut, but then they realize now we're tumbling. So now they're tumbling, and they're like, we got to get back to fucking Earth. So they bring the thing to re-entry. They land like, I'm gonna get this wrong, but let's just say 3,000 kilometers from where they're supposed to be
Oof.
in Siberia during bear and wolf mating season. and
Shit.
and I don't think they had a firearm. I think this was the incident that caused them to go, we really need the gun for the guys. They're landing up. It's no good. They found him after like 30 hours or something like that. All safe and sound. Soviet heroes. They made it, but like 8 things went wrong that should have.
That's a way more interesting story than Apollo 13.
It's pretty close. I don't know. They made it back with like they really MacGyvered their way back to the planet. You know,
I
they
just
were
want to see
halfway
a
to the moon.
20-minute scene of
No,
them
they went
trying
to
to
the
close
moon.
the door.
Yeah,
You'll never see it.
They made a-
They were playing Mozart. Yeah.
They made a
No, like if
250,000
they were to
mile
redo it
journey.
and make a movie, he's saying, yeah, just
Oh yeah.
20 minutes of them slamming doors.
Yeah, Apollo 13 was a great movie. Those guys traveled 250,000 miles within a MacGyvered ass, if you can even call it, spacecraft. Yeah, that's that's.
Yeah, I'm
a
sure
cool
it was
fucking
real
story.
hard surviving that that soundstage in Burbank.
You're not one of those guys, are you?
No,
Good,
I'm not.
good. I think that they definitely faked some things, some of the footage that they put out there. That's kind of a known thing.
How do you go from you're not one of those guys, are you? But seriously, they faked a lot of shit.
Well, they
I
did.
think
Like
they
it's
did.
plain to see.
Like,
It's
there's
plain
been-
to see that if they faked some of the footage that they have of a spacewalk in particular, like it's clearly obviously fake, and everybody is kind of like, yeah, that's reused footage. It's like, well, that's not what you said when you broadcast it. You said this is our astronauts live spacewalking.
Which clip was this? I'm not familiar with this.
I would have to go down a Wikipedia.
It was the
rabbit
one
hole
with
to
George
pull
Clooney
this
and
up.
Sandra Bullock. Turns out that one was totally fake.
You can see
looked real.
Stanley Kubrick's belly in the background.
Is that the giant baby from 2001?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Was just in the background shaking the shit out of Shelley Long. Be afraid, Jack's coming.
The more I think about the space race, I think it might have been Woody who said this a while back. Like, we totally moved the goalposts on the Soviets. Where, like, they made it into space with Yuri Gagarin or whatever, then they did the orbit or whatever, and we're like, nah, that was actually never the deal. It was actually the moon.
Right, we just lost
the moon
like
the whole time.
Yeah, like first they make it to space, then they make it around the entire planet, then they break some sort of speed record, then they go longer duration, then we get to the moon.
Space, first monkey in space,
all
first
those
satellite.
things first, and then we're the first people on the moon, and we're like, ha, that was the race the whole time.
Yeah.
Scoreboard!
And we totally screwed them because they're like, well, but you took all of the Nazi geniuses. If you give us 5 of your 10 Nazi geniuses, then we'll call it fair. No, we're keeping all the Nazi geniuses. And then we're going to slap an American flag on it.
Like, we beat the Nazis too, more than you.
Here's what I'm talking about, nigga. And that is how it is.
Your screen.
He's been on a few TV shows. He's always an explosive guy for that. As both like a practical, like this is the guy who's going to come and do the explosions, and also as a in front of the camera talent. So he is the guy who does the best Sling Blade impression you have ever seen in your life. Now let me tell you. When this guy, I'm glad he's gone. We're going to talk about Sling Blade a little. When this guy has the same hairline as Carl from the movie, you know how it's like thin, real thin on top, and he has the same shaped head, and he's not as heavy set, but I swear to God, he like puts his head forward and like furrows his brow and does his lips and.
You get the bomb.
Don't be scared. It's just a bomb. Some folks call it C4. I call it a good time. I swear to God, he looks exact, and he does the impression so well that I was embarrassed to even do mine in his presence. It was so good because he had everybody at the table laughing their asses off. Unlike Woody over there, he doesn't think it's funny. Woody needs to come back and do some of his knee slapper impressions. Fucker.
Oh man. That kind of like weird asymptotically approaching Indian, but you never hit it. That's all of his accents are asymptotically approaching Indian.
Yeah,
but
I think it's because he worked with so many Indian people that he got a little bit of a handle on what they sounded like. But yeah,
Where's the glass? I feel like I'll leave. I will leave. You guys got 14 more minutes show to do. You're on your own. I fucking hate it.
So what's that bow behind you, Kyle? Is that a compound bow, or is that just a cool looking like Lord of the Rings bow?
that is a.
Because I can't see.
Yeah, it's a recurve hunting bow. I'll grab it.
I thought you were gonna do that thing where he pulls another of what he has behind him out from in front of him. You know, where you tell
There
him
you
like
go.
that's a really neat and unique weapon you have behind you, and he goes, "Oh, they sent me 8." And then they
And I messed it up.
This guy having an African name reminded me. I was laughing the other day thinking about a game show in Africa and Nigeria, and it's called Today. Welcome once again to Meal or No Meal.
Apparently, Kimura.
Right now, the bank is offering 2 cups of dirty water. Will you take it?
Meal or no meal? I will say
Ugumbe says
no
he will
meal.
not take the 2 cups of dirty water. Back to
No.
the bank.
No meal. Roll the fucking wheel.
I am so sorry. You have ended up with case number 4. You have 7 living beetles. You are so close to the TGI Fridays gift card.
Did you
Tune in
hear
next time for meal or no meal?
on the UFC card? Did you see that the John Jones failed 2 more thing? I think that I am like, you know, in terms of handicaps, there are worse ones to have. But I'm literally like co-witness handicap. Like it's not a thing that I can do. I don't think practice fixes it. Is that a Mac 10?
Yeah. Check this thing out.
you got to give yourself, or you got to give Lord of the Rings, I guess, all the attention if you're gonna watch it. Oh, that's awesome.
That does look cool.
Kyle's got his bayonet on his AR. That's awesome. But yeah, Lord of the Rings, you'd really like it if you sat down and you really gave it a fair shake.
This is where we want you to go. This is what makes us look good. This is what keeps us in Mustang GTs. This is what, all right? This is what makes Wings cry tears of butter, okay?
Jesus
because
Christ.
he couldn't show up for his damn job. Because that's what happened. He'd sleep in, he'd make excuses, and he wouldn't show up.
He'd schedule
Nobody needs
dates
to kiss my
on
ass
show
except
night.
for Mrs. Kyle, okay? She does the ass kissing. I don't need anybody to kiss my
More
ass. I
licking.
don't care for it. All right? You lick it. Stick your tongue right up in there. I don't care. Got the right software. You'll find all your business solution needs. I like that they left me alone and trusted me not to start pushing my agenda for world domination or some sort of radical, crazy racist thing. You know, I could do anything right now. Oh God, the power I'm feeling. It's the Kyle show. It's the Lyle show. Let's talk about Lumi, okay? Because you guys seem to take me very seriously when I was talking about Lumi. Some of you did. Some of you got that was a bit of a troll. Uh-oh, Filthy's back. We'll keep going because Filthy doesn't have any say so in what I can and can't say. Look, Lumi is a sexy man, okay? You guys need to be hooking that up for me like you did with Sarah XXX, okay? You guys are my secret weapon when it comes to getting after that sweet, sweet boy pussy, all right? So get in there and make it happen for your boy Kyle, all right?
Whose boy pussy are you after?
Disregard whatever you may have heard. And smartmouth.com. Bad breath is a
Could you say it again?
He. Speller in the white.